Are you an IB music student needing help with revising the prescribed works like Kodály's Dances of Galanta? This short video will go over some of the key aspects of the piece, such as structure, instrumentation, melodies, and some of the Hungarian folk and gypsy influences which can be heard in this piece. Dances of Galanta was composed in 1933 for the 80th anniversary of the Budapest Philharmonic Society, and was inspired by the gypsy band Kodály heard as a young boy in Galanta. Kodály used Hungarian folk tunes and dances taken from a series of books published in Vienna around 1800. His music recreates the verbunkos, a gypsy dance style, which contrasted slow, swaggering sections with wild, fast ones. The piece is scored for symphony orchestra, but a small one by 20th century standards. The woodwind comprises two each of flute with the second doubling piccolo, oboe, clarinet and bassoon. The brass section has 4 French horns and 2 trumpets. The percussion section has timpani, triangle, glockenspiel and side drum, and there is a standard string section with first and second violins, violas, cellos and double basses. Kodály gives the clarinet a solo role, representing the taragato, which is a close relative to the clarinet from Eastern Europe. The cello section is also given the melody. Kodály learned the instrument whilst growing up in Galanta. The piece has one movement with 607 bars in total. Following the introduction, there are 5 principal gypsy dances featured in this piece. Broadly speaking, the piece follows the form of a verbunkos, a traditional Hungarian style of dance and instrumental music comprising 2 sections, the slow lassú section with dotted rhythms, and fast fris with wild virtuosic running semiquaver passages. Bars 1 to 2, 3, 5 are the slow, and bars 2, 3, 6 to the end are the fast. However, within these broad sections lies a freer, more complex structure made up of sections and subsections, with recurring themes to unify the work as a whole. I am using the piano version of the score because it saves space and still indicates some of the orchestral instrumentation. The introduction from bars 1 to 49 is a fantasia-like opening section. This uses a Hungarian folk melody in Dorian mode and is only heard in the introduction. This theme is answered by a series of 30-second note demi-semiquaver flourishes. These two ideas alternate initially and are then combined from bar 19. The first melody is heard on various solo instruments, for example in bar 1 in the cello section, see below, bar 10 horn and bar 37 in the clarinet. The clarinet cadenza starting in bar 45 segues straight into the lassú section from bar 50 to 235. This features 3 of the principal gypsy dances. The first dance acts like a recurring ritornello theme, with the second and third dances heard as episodes. The passionate first dance theme is heard in the clarinet bar 50 below. Then fortissimo and upper strings and woodwind bar 66, and cellos with a shorter version bar 82. Bars 93 to 150 are the second dance. This is in binary form, A-A-B-B, in the key of A-flat minor. The A phrase is a jaunty theme played by the flute from bar 96 and repeated with additional piccolo from bar 103. The B tune is a more forceful answering phrase heard at bar 109 in the violin and viola and repeated more softly by solo flute from bar 113. Bars 151 to 172 are a shorter reprise of the first dance in fortissimo upper strings and woodwind starting in A minor. Then there is a link passage from bar 167. Bars 173 to 228 are the third dance. This is in the key of D major and is again in binary form. The A section has 2 8-bar phrases, played by solo oboe shown below and repeated in the flute, and the B section has 2 further 8-bar phrases also for solo oboe and repeated the second time by the piccolo. This is followed by another reprise of the first dance, which leads into the start of the fast fris phase of the piece. The fast section kicks off with the 4th of the 5 dances. There are 2 phrases here, an exciting 6-bar syncopated melody in A minor, first heard in the violins, and a rapid 2-bar scalic pattern in E major for flute and clarinet. Notice the frequent A sharps give the second phrase a Lydian mode feel. The syncopated phrase accelerates and rises to a climax at bar 334, leading straight into the next section. Poco meno mosso, A slower interlude, this is not one of the 5 principal dances, more a brief respite from the wildness of the Friss music. Starting at bar 346 in B-flat major in the clarinet, this is another binary form folk tune similar in character to the jaunty second dance heard earlier. Notice the humorous 3- and 4-note glissandi in the bass played by cellos, basses and bassoons. A link passage develops the theme and hints at the melody of the 5th and final dance. The 5th dance is even faster than before, 152 crotchet beats per minute, and several earlier themes are heard again in order to unify the piece's structure. Like the 4th dance, there are 2 contrasting phrases, a short ostinato pattern in quavers heard in canon between violas and second violins, and a 2-bar motif with a distinctive octave fall with semiquaver runs. The 4th dance is reprised at bar 490, and as before it builds to a tutti climax on a pause before launching into the 5th dance once more. The 5th dance also builds to a climax, but this is abruptly cut off to a silent pause. The coda begins with divisi or divided strings, playing a mysterious, unrelated G-sharp minor chord pianissimo, turning into a tremolo accompaniment to the reappearance of the ritornello first dance played by solo flute, oboe, and then clarinet, which then plays another cadenza. This is all a reminder of the slow lasso section before a final frantic reprise of the 5th dance brings the piece to a wild and decisive conclusion. If you have made it this far, thank you so much for watching and listening. I hope you have found this useful for your IB revision. Please check out my website and join the mailing list for info about new resources I will be releasing in the future, as well as one-to-one tuition. And good luck with your exam.